Video game legend and PlayStation alum Shuhei Yoshida has announced that he will be leaving Sony in January. Yeah, this was a big story. Kind of an end of an era, if you will, because I believe Shuhei's been at Sony for like 31 years now, which I don't want to age myself here, but like that's pretty much my entire adult life. Like, as long as I have lived, Shuhei has been at Nintendo, which, Shuhei, I'm not trying to make you feel old, but damn, homie, I hope you're getting your pension. So, if you're not aware of who Shuhei is, Shuhei Yoshida is probably single-handedly responsible for the success of the PlayStation 2. He has had a massive presence in the indie space and is probably responsible for why 90% of the indie developers publish on PlayStation today. Shuhei Yoshida was in charge of PlayStation Studios up until 2016 when he handed over the reins to Herman Hulst. And dare I say, Shuhei's greatest accomplishment was a small little video that we got at E3. And this little video sealed his status among the gaming gods on Mount Olympus. Let me set the scene for you real quick. PlayStation 4, Xbox One era, we were all waiting on bated breath to figure out which console we were going to buy. Xbox came out with the first press conference. They announced the new console. They said, hey, this thing is going to have technology that once you buy the game, it's strictly yours. You can't share your video games. And the entire internet just responded, like, no one liked it. I mean, I wasn't an Xbox fan, but I was still like, yikes. I hope to God PlayStation's not going to do this. So then PlayStation comes out. They have the press conference immediately after Xbox. And they say, hey, if you're wondering how you share video games on PlayStation, we've got a fun little video for you. And then they proceed to show a video that I assume was filmed backstage during rehearsal that shows Shuhei holding a physical copy of a video game and handing it to his friend. Pretty much saying like, hey, if you want to share your video games, share your video games. We're not going to hold you to like one copy per person. That moment, I think, is when you had the momentum shift, right? Xbox killed it, the Xbox 360 generation, right? PlayStation 3 sold a shite ton of copies, or shite ton of consoles. But when I look back at that generation, I think the Xbox 360 definitely built the stronger player base. But that video might have been the moment that PlayStation just grabbed the reins and just kept riding to where we are today, where the PlayStation 5 is just dominating the Xbox Series X. Now, Shuhei announced their retirement on the PlayStation podcast, and I made some notes here because I think it's important to actually point this out. During the interview, Shuhei mentioned that he feels very positively about the current team at PlayStation and where Sony is as a company, and this isn't Shuhei being pushed out of the company. He made that very clear because I think there's a lot of people that look at this being like, darn you, Herman Hulst, trying to ruin PlayStation and getting rid of the last beacon of hope. And I've even seen articles being like, Sony and PlayStation are losing their spirit with Shuhei. I don't believe that, but that's conversations for another episode. And Shuhei said that, like, look, this is simply the right time for me to leave, right? The company is in a good place. I'm in a good place. And it's time for me to move on. Now, for the question as to what Shuhei will do next, he pointed out on Twitter, and I don't know if this was a joke or if it was real, but Shuhei did say he's going to be giving voice acting a chance, which mazel tov to you, Shuhei. And look, I understand the chances of Shuhei Yoshida seeing this are very slim, but I do want to say thank you. Thank you on behalf of myself, who's been a PlayStation fan my entire life, who has played the games that you have worked very, very hard to get them published, to get them on the console. And I understand that we as gamers sometimes often look at things being like, why aren't the games coming? Why isn't this happening? And it might seem like we're unappreciative. And I do want to say, like, I understand there is a world behind the scenes that we as gamers do not understand. And Shuhei, you were wildly responsible for that. And you brought a lot of the games to the platform that I love to this day. So thank you for everything you've done for PlayStation. Thank you for your hard work. And if voice acting is where you end up after this, I hope to see you in a game and be like, hey, that's Shuhei. There's that Shuhei kid living his dream.